There's just something about adding cozy autumn touches that makes a space and a home feel warm and inviting. In this video, come decorate with me for the season of fall. First thing is we are getting inspired from our previous home decorating for fall. So each year I have a fall journal and one of the spreads is fall decorating. And so I pulled out my fall journal from 2023 and 2024 and looked through the pages. Some things I printed from Pinterest, while others are photos from my home and how I decorated in those years. So it's really nice to have it documented and look back. And I will be sure to link my fall journals in the description box below so you can pick one up to use for your autumn decorating and your autumn documenting. And then I will also have linked below my previous autumn decorate with me videos from the past years. So you can watch those as well too. The next thing I have to look for inspiration in is my Creative Faith Autumn magazine. This is also available on Amazon and it is full of seasonal inspiration. So I flipped to the page that has autumn creating ideas, and not all of these pictures were printed in my journals. They're from other years as well. And so I was looking through and seeing what did I do? What were some of those ideas that I had put in the magazine? And so be sure to pick up a Creative Faith Autumn magazine if you haven't yet. And I love just taking a few minutes before heading out the door to do some autumn shopping to look at these spreads and pages. I also have on today one of my Creative Faith Autumn apparel items, the sweatshirt. It says there on the sleeve, always give thanks. And so definitely check out the Creative Faith Autumn apparel as well too. So I went to Goodwill to do a little shopping and inspiration. I wasn't overly impressed with the selection at Goodwill, but I did pick up a few Nancy Drew books, and it was fun just to kind of wander around and see what they have. And I also did pick up a autumn, well, it's not necessarily autumn, but it was this beautiful brown and peach colored knit blanket. So those are my couple autumn decor finds. And then I also stopped at Walmart. We were just getting our groceries and I found the viral icon glasses from Walmart. And they only had a couple left, so I was so glad that we went there. And so I picked up the pumpkin one. They also had this spot one. I just picked up the pumpkin one, and it's been the perfect spot to have my chai tea lattes in the afternoon or my apple ciders. So that was fun to go to the store and wander around. Really, I have a lot of beautiful fall decor already. And so I took some time to pull it all out on the kitchen table so I could see what I was working with. One thing in recent years is I've been really intentional about getting more natural fiber decorations. So instead of buying plastic pumpkins, I have wicker ones or fabric ones, incorporating dried florals instead of plastic and things like that. So I've been just trying to be more intentional about what kind of things I'm bringing into my home. So I wanted to encourage you with that too. Same with like polyester blankets, swap them out for cotton. So next I wanted to make a craft for our mantle. And this is a new Creative Faith printable that I will have linked in the description box below. And it is a garland printable. And it has 5 different designs. And so I played around with 2 of them. So first I cut out the happy fall one. And I love how these turned out. And it's really awesome because you can print and use them again and again for personal use. And I will, I think I mentioned, have them linked in my Etsy shop in the description box below. Then I just hole punched in the top corners and put it on some twine to give it a beautiful fall look. So first I styled the Happy Fall banner, which I really liked how that one looked. But then I wanted to do one that said grateful instead. I just thought that was a little more meaningful for my season, and so I wanted to go with that one instead for this year. And I just kind of liked the more orangey color from this one. So I went with grateful instead. And then now jumping into the living room decorating. And I'm wearing another one of the Creative Faith Autumn Apparel pieces. This is the long sleeve shirt that says full of joy. So I was playing around with the different garlands. This is always kind of a chore to kind of figure out, okay, what do I want to do? How do I want to hang it? I wanted it to look different than the year before. So I tried the pumpkin one, but that one's just a little too long for this. And so I went with the same felt ball banner that I used last year and put that below and layered the grateful on top of it. And really love how it turned out. I added a few pumpkins and this really cute vase that I have and that I got from Goodwill last year, actually. So then we were kind of looking at it and I wanted to switch it up a little. And so I ended up adding these new candlesticks that my parents brought back from their most recent Europe trip. And so that was fun to incorporate those. And then I had my husband add this acorn light up garland that we have. And so that's in the middle. So it's always a good idea when you're decorating to do things in odd numbers. So groups of 3 or 5. And so I love that there's 3 banners now. That is really nice touch on the mantle. And here's what it looks like at night. After decorating this day, we had our first cup of hot apple cider, and I also added some orange straw flower to the teapot as well, and lit the candles. And it was just such a fun, cozy autumn evening. And we also made pumpkin cookies. It was just the perfect kickoff for fall. And so then on the other side of our living room, I love throw pillow covers. And be sure to check out my Amazon Autumn idea board, and it has links to lots of natural fiber pillowcase covers and blankets for autumn. And so definitely check that out. And so we are swapping out our blankets and throw pillow covers. So then a different day, this is over a course of, of a few different days, piecing this whole house together with autumn touches. The next couple days later, I added this leaf banner that I made last year using my fall floral leaves printable, and I'll have this linked in the description box below. I made this last year on my Decorate With Me video. And so instead of putting it on the mantle this year, since I have the grateful one, I wanted to add it to a bookshelf over here. And then I just took some time playing around with this is actually, I grouped this video in order of room in the house. But this is actually the last thing I decorated. And so I just kind of had the leftover pieces of decor that I was trying to figure out how I wanted to arrange. And so I just kind of play with it. I put things and then I rearrange them and I put them again and rearrange them. Again, wanting things to be in odd groupings, so odd numbers, and I don't want it to be like too symmetrical. Like right now, I was kind of feeling like everything was too pushed to the sides. And so I wanted to kind of mix it up and push things more to the middle. And yeah, just fun to kind of get creative in this way. Decorating is creative. And so just, yeah, neat to see how it all ended up coming together, layering pumpkins and this cute little wooden mushroom and a wicker acorn and a metal acorn. And so again, just thinking about also stacking things differently too. So having different layers and not having too many alike things in the same spot. So that is the cute little autumn leaves shelf. So next we have our dining area. So our house is one big room. And so this is the dining area. And these are some berry crates from my grandpa's house that I've had in my houses and apartments for many, many years. and I love styling them. They're kind of tricky. I'd say this is like the trickiest spot for me to style, but I do kind of like how it came together. And I did reference last year's picture so I could remember what I did. In the very top on the card holder, I actually used some free fall photo journaling cards that I have in the Creative Faith freebie hub. And so I have those printed, so you can check those out in the Creative Faith freebie hub, and I will have that linked in the description box below. But again, just more kind of trial and error, layering different things, checking out, okay, what's working, what's not working. I have this Indian corn, dried Indian corn that I picked up at Goodwill a couple of years ago that I like having over here. And then I layered some different candles as well. We don't light the candles in this berry tray, but it's fun to have them there so then we can pull them off and use them in our home. We love having candles on in the evenings or at dinner. So, love having candles around. Next up is the hutch. This is the first year of having the hutch in our house. This was an item from my grandma, and it was at my aunt and uncle's house, and then they handed it off to me, and it is just so fun to have this in our home. It was one of my grandma's favorite pieces from their house when my mom was growing up, and so I love having it in ours. And I got to use the cute little pumpkin banner on this, and I cannot wait to have other cute little banners and garlands on here for other holidays. So we have little push pins that we put in the very top where you can't see. And then I added the cake stand over on the right side and layered some cute pumpkins on it. Next up, we have the dining table. So I had to clear off all of the decor. We'll have this Hearth and Hand tablecloth that I got at Goodwill, and I love having this on our table, not just during fall, but all year long. I layered this tray and added some straw flower, as well as a little wicker pumpkin and a glass pumpkin full of candy corn. Next up in the kitchen area, we don't really decorate I don't decorate the kitchen because it's a very petite kitchen, and there's not a lot of room for decor because it's a very functional kitchen, we use it a lot. But I did get these really amazing kitchen towels from New Seasons. They are so absorbent and work really well, so that was kind of my kitchen decorating, was adding those to our oven, and I don't really do too much else for big decor here because, like, what you see is our counter space. So, not a lot of room to have a lot of decor hanging around our kitchen. I did add the towels, and then above our sink, we have a little ledge. And so right now we have zinnias in our garden, and I love having flowers from our garden inside our house. And then I'm layering this little wooden cutting board that my parents also brought us back from Europe. And so I thought that would be kind of cute to have on the windowsill. And then that way we can also use the cutting board because it will be right in the kitchen. I also added a little pumpkin and another flower. So I went out and picked another flower. Look at how pretty that is. It was kind of the salmon coral color. And so I have this that I added to the vase. And then once our zinnias are done, I can use some of my pretty straw flower in here and have that instead of the real live flowers. And then I just layered on a little wicker pumpkin. Next up is the mug tree. I love having this mug tree. This is an old Target find from a long time ago. Putting out all the little fall mugs. I haven't bought a fall mug in quite a few years. I've just been using the ones that I have. So I add those there, and then I have this wooden pumpkin, and I ended up putting some electrolyte packs, some lemon balm tea, and some dandelion chai tea in there. So that way it is ready at my fingertips for some cozy tea on fall days. Next up, I have our little entry table, and I love having the letter board underneath this little table that we have. And so my phrase for this year is autumn leaves and time with Jesus, please. I thought that would be really cute for the autumn season. And so I love using this to swap out seasonally with different phrases. This was a wedding gift of ours from, 5.5 years ago. So I am putting that down and see, what else did I do? I was just kind of, I already had the orange straw flower on here, so I didn't really have a lot to do. I did have this little, I don't know what you would call it, table square, and this is another fun Goodwill find. And so I ended up layering that and just playing around with different candles or pumpkins or, oh, there's my husband's fun to work on this with him and kind of get his input and feedback. So we ended up layering some of the Indian corn on there. And the thing to the right of the entry table is an air filter, actually. It's a Jasper air filter. We found mold in our home. When was it? Earlier this year, back in April. And so this is a really good air filter. And so I love that. We have it right in our living room. It's not like the prettiest thing ever, but it's important to have clean air. And so, even though it's not necessarily the best decor, that is our air filter holding down the fort. And so, we're just playing around with how to arrange the little corn there. And yeah, this is how it ended up turning out. I did swap out a few things and put the little candy corn pot down below. But there is our tree table. Next up, we have the bedroom. So normally I put these fake plastic leaves on this little barrel ring above our bed, but I had the idea to add a bow instead, and I love it so much. I am so pleased with how this turned out. And so that was a really, really fun thing to do to add a little bow to it instead of what I did before. And I also added a little bow to this base so it kind of matches and coordinates. This is the top of my dresser, and I added this scarf from my grandma, and then was just playing around with this photo of my husband and I and trying to kind of think of how I wanted to arrange things. Again, more playing around with what goes where. And then on top of his dresser, we put the dried florals and I swapped out the little book that lamp is. So I ended up picking up some new pillowcases from Amazon. These are 100% cotton and they're reversible, which is so much fun. The plaid ones that I have used the past couple years ended up getting really kind of gross looking. So I threw those away last year. And so I wanted to get some new ones. And I love that these are reversible. So comment below. Do you prefer it on the gray striped side or the orange grid side? Let me know in the comments. I didn't even realize this, but the ribbon that I have on the hoop is grid and it matches the grid on the pillowcases, which I thought was really kind of cool. And so just putting the pillowcases together and on the bed. So this was really fun to add these to our autumn collection. And just so you can see how they look with orange, and then I'll have a photo of it the other way too. So let me know, do you prefer the orange look or the gray striped? I think they both look great, and it's fun because it is easy to switch them up no matter what it is. I can just have a totally different look in our room. And then I just layered a few of our throw pillows on it. So again, comment below. Are you team gray stripe or are you team orange grid? So last, I had something really fun happen when I was at work. We're getting things ready for a big event on the farm, and they have a wild pumpkin field in the horse field. And so I gathered up some pumpkins. They're very funky pumpkins. And I don't even know how they possibly grew like this. It's like two different kinds merged together. But I love them, and then some other little gourd things. So I picked these up. Love a good free wild pumpkin. And I thought it would be fun to incorporate these in the fall decor. So even though everything was kind of already together, I was like, I am totally going to incorporate these into my fall decor, but also I can't wait to eat them. Roast the pumpkin seeds, roast the stuff inside. So I ended up putting two on the front porch. I had this other little berry crate, so I put one of them in the middle of that. And then I put another one on top of it. And I think it just gave our front porch such a cute look. Unfortunately, the pumpkins in our garden didn't really, we only have three and they barely grew bigger than an apple. So, anyways, I love having these. And then I added a grapevine wreath with an orange bow on it to complete our front porch. And that is the fall decorate with me, fall shop with me, fall kind of craft with me. And I hope this video gave you some ideas on how to decorate your home for the season of autumn. If your home's already decorated, you can totally add some additional touches if you want. And be sure to check out all the different things I mentioned in the description box below too, like my new autumn apparel, the Autumn Creative Faith magazine, and what else? Oh, I have a whole autumn wonderland free online course that I made that you can check out, autumn ideas list on Amazon. So lots of fun autumn things that I've made as well as that's to come. Oh, the garland banner printable. And yeah, so lots of fun things to check out. And one last thing I did is swapped out the plastic pumpkins and added these real little gourds and things instead. So again, trying to use less plastic and more kind of real natural materials and things. So be sure to hit the subscribe button below as well as the bell notification so you don't miss out on any Creative Faith videos. And thank you so much for being here. And I hope you are having a beautiful start to your autumn season, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, friend!